Hi gang, Woody 55 here on ECF Max Customer Service Manager at IGotVapes.com. Going to do something a little different this time. Uh, not going to be doing my Woody's Musings or Got Vapes Texas Tidbits. Uh, this time around, going to be doing a build on a Squape, the new Squape that we're going to be putting up in stock. I'll get into some more stuff towards the end on something we have going on with it. Uh, Comes in a nice hard box. It does say Typhoon on it, but it's not a Typhoon. That's just what the manufacturer packs it in. Uh, Inside of it, you got part package, O-ring, wick, wire. You got the Allen wrench. I'll show you what that's for. And we've got the Squape itself. Uh, Good looking unit. Drip tip removes. Kind of unique. You unscrew the base off of it. There's your build platform. Now, internal. I'll show you now what this is for, your Allen wrench. This is a what they call a bell in here, vape bell. You insert the Allen wrench in there, and you use that to remove the vape bell for cleaning. Now you can see, I don't know whether you can see the tank in there. Not sure if it's plastic, plexiglass, what it is. It does have O-rings top and bottom. Uh, Whether it can be replaced at some point, don't know. All right, this is the vape bell. This screws in up into the top where your mouthpiece sits, seals off, got an O-ring on it. Your uh, vape base, build base, when it's put together, this sets on top. It goes inside of it. Sort of like the K-Fun, but where the K-Fun screws on, this one doesn't. It sets over it. I'll get more into that whenever we get into the build on it. All right. Have to do a little camera rearranging, and I'll be back with the wicking her up. Hi gang, we're back again. Okay, got everything laid out here. Uh, your main body of the unit, which I'll set to the side right this moment. The vape bell, drip tip, parts package, and the Allen wrench. All right. I like to use a little stable platform whenever I'm wicking these up, so I use the ohm checker for it. Has its other handy properties too, but makes it a little better. Let me see if I can get in a little closer on this thing. Okay, you have thumb screws for mounting your wick. You can use a screwdriver. They're slotted where you can use a screwdriver to snub them down as well. This is a coated aluminum, uh, supposed to be non-conductive to where you're not going to have any coil short or anything else in there. I've done a couple of builds on this already, and does wick up fairly easy. All right, got my pieces of wick, my wire. Uh, here's where I do things a little different. Let me set this out of the way. Uh, and some people recommend this. I use a paper clip. Take and lay I cut 2 pieces of wick about 1 inch long, and I put them up here on the paper clip. Take my wire, the fun part's getting the wrapping started and then trying to hold everything in place. Uh, try to make my wraps as fairly close together as I can, using 32 gauge Canthal on this. Like to go about 4 to 5 uh, wraps. Should give somewhere in the neighborhood of about uh, a 2, maybe a little better than 2 ohm reading. Now on this, I like to have both my pigtails sticking up. Okay. Not the prettiest windings in the world, but you can kind of spread them out. We'll do a burn on it anyway to make sure there's no hot spots. Then I'll bring my base back in. Now I take and slide the wire out the paper clip. You want one wick, one above the other, because one wick has to go down in this channel. That helps with the wicking. All right. Raise that thumb. I use a okay. That's snub down there. I kind of use a screwdriver to kind of make sure I'm setting down in the channel. Bring your other leg over. And underneath the other post. Make sure my wicks I do kind of untwist them a little bit. One is not wanting to go down in the channel. Okay. But you want to try to get it down into the channels as much as possible. I'm a little new to doing this on camera, so bear with me. Now, before I trim anything off, alright, I'm in at 2.33 ohms. After it's heated up, it'll probably come in at probably around 2, maybe 2.1. Take and cut off the excess wire. Make sure I ain't got nothing sticking out. Now on the wick, your wick has to be on these. The wick has to be cut flush with the side. I kind of fluff it up a little. You really don't want it running down the sides any, because it can affect the way it see what we're still, you know, now I'm at 2.6. Check to make sure I'm still tight. Seems to be pretty solid, so about 2.5, 2.6, a little higher than what I wanted, but that'll still work. Okay. Take this off this. And I'm going to use my ProVari Mini on this. Alright, looks like I got a nice even center glow, which is what we want. Let me take a little juice here and kind of wet up the wick a little. I'm going to run the voltage up a little bit on this. About 4.3 volts. Seems to be heating up good there. Not seeing any hot spots. A little more juice on it and make sure my you want to make sure you got let's see what the ProVari is showing it resistance wise. 2.5 ohms. Okay. Now to the other part of it, we want to put our vape bell back in. Now, one thing I discovered by chance, when you tighten this thing down, make sure you get it good and snug. If you don't, if you happen to pull the bottom off to adjust your wick or to put another wick on, if you don't have it snug, this can come unscrewed, and when it does, you're going to dump your juice out the bottom. Learned the hard way on that one. All right, filling this tank as well is very easy. You take your needle bottle and you go down right in beside the bell and the housing. And you can fill it up and go from there. Supposedly this is supposed to hold about 5 mils. Don't know for sure. I haven't actually measured. Uh, you can fill it up to the edge of the bell and you're ready to go. Set your unit in. Screw it down. Put your mouthpiece back on, ready to go. All right, let me reset the camera and we'll be back for a vape test on it. Okay, back now. All right, here's the test. Now I have doing this with I've run it up to about 4.5 volts now, and I'm up at about 4.8 because we run about a 2.5 ohm coil. We'll see how it goes. May have to adjust one way or the other with it. Not bad. Flavor's great. Flavor is fantastic. Uh, Here's where we're going to get into the part on this. The only bad thing on this unit is it has no airflow. Or, well, I'm not going to say no airflow. It just has uh, very low airflow. You have one hole in the 510 stem. It needs two, at least. It's almost like sucking through a milkshake straw. Uh, you use a real soft draw, uh, you get a real good vape on it. It's still, I mean, it's still, if you try to draw, uh, if you try to draw too hard, it's going to uh, give you fits. My camera's trying to move around on me a bit. So if I fall off, uh, it got vapes. We're going to be putting this one up for sale, but we're going to be putting it up at a reduced cost. We discovered this problem with it, with the low amount of draw on it. Uh, at this time, I don't know what the price is going to be. Daniel and them will take care of that. It is a nice unit and would be a great unit if it had the airflow. That is the only drawback, is the airflow on it. Now, if you're the kind of person that likes to take in mod things, you could turn this up. Let me show you on this thing. Well, I'll get her to focus in. That's the only air hole it has. And it's small. It is small. It should have had one on the other side as well, on the other channel. This thing has channels on the bottom of it. And there's one on one channel. And kind of see it there, but it might be, it's less than a millimeter. It's very small. But if you're the kind of person that's got a steady hand and wants to try to drill another one in the other side or enlarge the one that's there a little, then it'd be right up your alley. And that's why we're going to put it up at a reduced cost. Uh, we have spoken with the people that we got it from, and we will be rectifying that situation at some point in time. Other than that, like I said, with soft draws, it does produce uh, a good amount of vapor, but it could produce a lot more if you had a good airflow on it. I mean, it will if you take your time with it. But the flavor's fantastic. Flavor's wonderful. I like the unit. I just don't like the fact that it doesn't have any airflow to speak of. It's very low airflow. Uh, if it had more open airflow, it'd be a vaping beast. But that's where we set on it. Uh, we will be putting it up at Got Vapes at a reduced cost. Uh, and you people that like to modify things and experiment a little bit, uh, if you're willing to take that risk, by all means, it is worth it. It is a good unit, but that's where it's at. Uh, Glad you bared with me on this, making this little journey here. It's something new for me, but I will be doing more. At some point, I'll be doing a teardown rebuild on the K-Fun Light Plus and possibly on some of our others. At some point, I may redo this one and try cotton on it. They say the cotton works real well, but until something's done on airflow on it, uh, doesn't move it. And what I want to tell you is, if you, like I said, if you draw too hard on it, if you go in and try and draw hard on it, you'll flood it. You'll flood it, and then you got to take it apart, clean it off a little bit, and put it back together, and you can go back at it. But as long as you draw soft, uh, draw a little too hard that time. Uh, but it's a nice unit. That's a Squape, and don't know who the manufacturer is on it. We really don't. We've been trying to find out who the exact manufacturer is, but at this point in time, don't know. Uh, but once again, it'll be going up at godvapes.com, and will be going up for, like I said, a reduced price. And just want to make you aware of what the problem is on it. Once again, thanks for joining me on this journey. Uh, I'm Max, Woody 55 on ECF. Vape well, vape safe.